Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Lesson 11. India, our motherland. Knowledge acquisition. We already know that India is a part of the continent of Asia. The lofty Himalayan range form the northern mountain wall, while the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, and the Bay of Bengal surround it on all sides. There is variety in the climate, vegetation, wildlife, as well as in the language and culture. In this diversity, we find unity that is reflected in traditions that bind us as one nation. India has a population of around 121 crore as per Census 2011. It is the second most populous country of the world after China. Geographic location. Geographic locations are described using latitudes and longitudes. The latitudinal extent of India stretches from 8 degree 4 N to 37 degree 17 N. It lies between longitudes 68 degree 7 E and 97 degree 25 E. From this geographic location, we reach at the following conclusions. India lies in the northern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer, 23 degree 30 N, divides the Indian landmass into two almost equal halves. Peninsular India, below the Tropic of Cancer, lies in the tropical zone. The northern India is somewhat continental in nature. Situated to the east of the prime meridian, India belongs to the eastern hemisphere. It occupies a central position with respect to the longitudinal extent of the eastern hemisphere. Advantages of India's geographic location. Its central location gives it several advantages. It was cradle of one of the four earliest civilizations, known as the Indus Valley Civilization or the Harappan Civilization. From ancient times, it enjoyed close trade and cultural contacts with the rest of the world. Being at the head of the Indian Ocean, its climate is shaped by winds blowing over the ocean, which pick up moisture in summer and cause rainfall. Below the Himalayas is a vast plain. The climate and fertile soil help to sustain more than 1 billion people who live in India. India has 16% of world's total population. They give it many political advantages. Geographic extent and neighbors. The mainland of India extends from Kanyakumari in the south at about 8 degrees N to Kashmir in the north at about 37 degree N, about 2,100 kilometers. It extends from the Rann of Kutch in the west at about 68 degree E to Arunachal Pradesh in the east at about 97 degree E, about 2,900 kilometers. India's land frontier, from Gujarat to Kolkata via northern boundary, is 15,200 kilometers. The total length of the coastline, mainland, Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands, is 7,516 kilometers. The total land area of India is 32,87,263 sq km, the seventh largest in the world. Cape Comorin, near Kanyakumari, is the southernest tip of mainland of India. But for the whole country, it is India Point located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Southern India is almost perfectly triangular in shape. A landmass enclosed by oceans on three sides is called a peninsula. The southern part of India, below the Tropic of Cancer, is therefore called Peninsular India. India and her neighbors. The Himalayan range separate India and its neighbors from the rest of Asia. Thus, along with Nepal, Bhutan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, India forms a separate geographic unit known as Indian subcontinent. While India shares its land boundary with all of them, none of them have common borders with one another. Pakistan is in the northwest, India in the center, Nepal is in the north, Bhutan is in the northeast and Bangladesh is in the east. Other neighboring countries of India include China in the north and Sri Lanka and Maldives in the Indian Ocean in the south. India also shares a small corridor with Afghanistan. India political. India is a union of 28 states and 8 union territories, including the National Capital Territory of India. The states and their capitals are 1. Andhra Pradesh, Amravati, 2. Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, 3. Assam, Dispur, 4. Bihar, Patna, 5. Chhattisgarh, Raipur, 6. Goa, Panji, 7. Gujarat, Gandhinagar, 8. Haryana, Chandigarh, 9. Himachal Pradesh, Shimla, 10. Jharkhand, Ranchi, 11. Karnataka, Bangalore, 12. Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, 13. Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal, 14. Maharashtra, Mumbai, 15. Manipur, Imphal, 16. Meghalaya, Shillong, 17. Mizoram, Aswal, 18. Nagaland, Kohima, 19. Odisha, Bhubaneswar, 20. Punjab, Chandigarh, 21. Rajasthan, Jaipur, 22. Sikkim, Gangtok, 23. Tamil Nadu, Chennai, 24. Tripura, Agartala, 25. Uttarakhand, Dehradun, 26. Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, 27. West Bengal, Kolkata, 28. Telangana, Hyderabad. The 8 union territories and their capitals are 1. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Port Blair, 2. Chandigarh, 3. Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Silvassa, and Daman and Diu, Daman, 4. Ladakh, Leh, 5. Lakshadweep, Kavratti, 6. Puducherry, 7. National Capital Territory of Delhi, 8. Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar. Do you know? 7 states in the northeastern part of India are called the Seven Sisters. They are Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur and Tripura. Physical divisions. India has a wide range of landforms. The diverse relief features of India are grouped into 5 main physical divisions. 1. The Northern Mountains. 2. The Northern Plains. 3. The Peninsular Plateau. 4. The Coastal Plains and Islands. 5. The Great Indian Desert. The Northern Mountain. The Himalayas are the highest mountains in the world. This chain of mountains stretches for about 2,400 kilometers from Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. These mountains width vary from 240 kilometers at places to about 320 kilometers. At the western and eastern ends, smaller ranges branch southward from the Himalayas. This mountain chain is made up of their parallel ranges, the Greater Himalayas, the Lesser Himalayas, and the Outer Himalayas. In between these ranges, there are beautiful valleys such as the Kashmir and Kullu valleys. The Greater Himalayas, also called Himadri, are the highest mountains, with an average height of above 4,877 meters. The highest peaks are found in this range. They are Mount Everest, 8,850 meters, on the Nepal-China border, Kanchenjunga, 8,586 meters, on the Indo-Nepal border, and Nanda Devi, 7,820 meters, in Uttarakhand. This range is permanently covered with snow, and has glaciers like the Siachen, Gangotri, and Yamunotri. Do you know? Siachen Glacier is the world's highest battlefield. The Siachen Glacier on the Indo-Pakistan border is the longest glacier in the world outside the polar region. It is 70 kilometers long. People travel across these high mountains through passes like Nathu La and Jelep La through Darjeeling on the Indo-Tibet border, and Shipki La through Himachal Pradesh on the Indo-Tibet border. The Lesser or Middle Himalayas, or Himachal, lie south of the Greater Himalayas. Their average height ranges between 3,600 meters and 4,500 meters. This range is marked by fast-flowing rivers and streams and steep gorges. Hill stations like Shimla and Darjeeling are located here. The outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks form the lowest range, with an average height of 900 meters to 1500 meters. This range lies between the northern plains and the lesser Himalayas. It is more marked in the western parts and does not reach the east. The outer Himalayas are dotted with flat valleys or duns in between, such as Dehradun. These valleys are highly populated. In Kashmir, the Pir Panjal range runs south, west of the Himalayas, along the Kashmir Valley. In the northeast, you will find lower hills such as the Garo, Khasi, and Jantia Hills between Assam and Bangladesh, and the Naga Hills between India and Myanmar. Locate these hills on the physical map of India. The Northern Plains. There are vast northern plains stretching south of the Himalayas, from west to east, for about 2,400 kilometers. This region is located between the Himalayas in the north and the Peninsular Plateau in the south. These are the alluvial plains formed by the river systems of the Ganga, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra. The population is very high in these areas. The Ganga plain forms the main part of the northern plains. It is watered by the river Ganga and its tributaries, such as the Yamuna, Gandak, Gomti, Kosi, and Son. The Ganga starts at the Gangotri Glacier in the Greater Himalayas and then runs through the Lesser Himalayas before entering the plains, where it flows slowly. It flows through Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. The river then flows into Bangladesh, where it is known as the Padma. The Indus Plain lies in India as well as Pakistan. In India, it forms the western part of the northern plains. This plain is drained by the tributaries of the Indus, the Ravi, Beas, and Satluj, covering Punjab and Haryana. The Brahmaputra plain forms the northeastern part of the northern plains, covering Assam. This plain is watered by the Brahmaputra and its tributaries such as the Subansiri and Dhansiri. It enters Bangladesh, where it is called the Jamuna, joins the Ganga, and finally flows into the Bay of Bengal. Part of the delta formed by the Ganga and Brahmaputra in Bangladesh extends into West Bengal. The Peninsular Plateau, also called as the Deccan Plateau, this region lies to the south of the northern plains. It has an average height of 300 to 760 meters and slopes down from west to east. A peninsula is a piece of land surrounded by water bodies on three sides. As this region is surrounded by sea on three sides, it is also called the Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau has district areas, the Malwa Plateau in the north, the Deccan Plateau in the south. The Malwa Plateau is bounded by the Aravalli Range in the north-west, while the Vindhya Range marks its southern boundary. To the south of the Vindhyas lies the Deccan Plateau. The Western Ghats run along the western edge of the Deccan Plateau. These are a continuous chain of high mountains, with the Sahyadris in the north and the Nilgiris, Anaimlai, and Cardamom Hills in the south. The highest peak of the Western Ghats is Anamudi at 2,695 meters. It is also the highest point in South India. The Eastern Ghats are discontinuous low ranges that run northeast to southwest along the eastern flank of the Peninsular Plateau. These are intersected by many rivers. Both the western and the eastern Ghats merge in the Nilgiri Hills. It is also called Blue Mountains. The Peninsular Plateau area is watered by big rivers like the Godavari, Mahandi, Krishna, and Kaveri, which flow east into the Bay of Bengal, and the Narmada and Tapi, which flow west into the Arabian Sea. The coastal plains and islands. These are narrow plains along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal in the east, and border the Peninsular Plateau. The eastern coastal plains are wider than the western coastal plains and contain the river deltas of Mahandi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. The eastern coastal plains are known as the Northern Circles in the north and the Coromandel Coast in the south. The western coastal plains are known as the Konkan Coast in the north and the Malabar Coast in the south. Goa, popular among tourists for its beautiful beaches, lies on the western coastal plains, Konkan Coast. On the eastern coastal plains, Coromandel Coast, Mahabalipuram is famous for its beaches and ancient temples. The western coastal plains are marked by salt marshes in the north, west, Gujarat. Kochi, a popular port on the western coastal plains, Malabar Coast, is also known as the Queen of the Arabian Sea. India's islands lie into groups to the south, west and south, east of the mainland. The Andaman Islands in Bay of Bengal consist of 204 islands with hills and narrow valleys, while the Nicobar Islands consist of 19 islands, of which some are covered by corals and some by hills. The Lakshadweep Islands are coral islands. Only few islands are inhabited by people. India's only volcano, the Barren Island, is located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Do you know? The word Lakshadweep in Sanskrit means 100,000 islands. The Great Indian Desert. The desert region of India is located in the west of the northern plains in western Rajasthan, known as the Thar Desert. It is characterized by a sandy surface, few hills, and shifting sand dunes. It extends into Pakistan. It is bounded on the east by the Aravalli Range, on the south by the Rann of Kutch, and on the west by the Indus River. There are several basins containing stationary salt water. Sambhar Lake is India's largest saltwater lake. Keywords: exogenic forces, external forces of erosion which act slowly on the surface of the earth. Endogenic forces, internal forces which act suddenly on the surface of the earth, such as volcanoes and earthquakes. Fault, fracture or break in the earth's crust. Host, elevated block of the earth's crust, flanked by faults on each side. Scarp, steep cliff-like slope. Let's revise. Continuous review. Internal and external processes constantly shape the earth's surface. External forces work in two ways, causing erosion and deposition. The Earth's land surface is covered by three main types of landforms: mountains, plateaus, and plains. There are three main types of mountains: fold, block, and volcanic. Mountains provide valuable resources to humans, such as water, forests, minerals, and tourist spots. Plateaus are of three types: intermontane, lava, and crustal. Plateaus are important to us for their minerals and for the fertile land for cultivation. Plains are of three types: tectonic, erosional, and depositional. Plains are the most favorable of all landforms because of the availability of water and the level land.
Like, share, and subscribe.